Madrid Open while he was
He
sick.
dropped the opening set to FAA, which is why I'm not sleeping on FAA. But
Dude, you
then he
guys are
got all in
fucking
his head and
crazy.
he fucking
FAA is a
collapsed.
bum. FAA is an absolute bum. He's a Canadian, no account of no account. Listen, all right. He walked into that Madrid Open. He beat Rude in the third round, and then he had two walkovers in the quarters and the semis. So he beat Rude in the third round when Rude wasn't playing good, and then he walked into the fucking final, right? Like that doesn't mean shit to me. I don't think FAA is in good form at all. I hate FAA. If you haven't picked that up, Hubs.
Yeah, I'm with you though. I'm with you, man. I think he's a total choke job.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Gambling Racket, the sports gambling podcast aimed at giving you the angles and insights into successfully betting on professional tennis. My name is Ben, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts Chris and young Gary Busey, Vic Lodato, for episode 18 of the Gambling Racket, the Roland Garros 2024 special. Special, in fact, because joining us this week to cover the second slam of the year is co-editor-in-chief at Barstool Sports, MLB blogger, and notably the only person in America who does care about tennis, Hubs. Hubs, thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, what's going on, boys? Anytime someone wants to talk tennis with me, I'm game. So, I don't really get many people over here who I can do this with. So I'm down. What's going on, boys?
We are excited, like I said, for the second slam of the year, and we're happy that there's actually someone outside of this sphere in America that cares about tennis. We're trying to build up our social media presence, and it seems like everyone is in fucking Europe that actually cares about this stuff. So, hey, we're bringing it. We're bringing it to
where are you guys based out of? Where are you guys?
I'm in Seattle.
Okay.
I'm in Texas, Dallas.
Columbus, Ohio.
Wow. All right. So we're all spaced out. Love that.
Yeah, we got to get
you want to go
now.
to the Cincinnati Open, Hubs? I got you covered.
There might be something in the works. There might be something. I don't want to confirm anything, but I might be heading in there for like a day or two.
I'll be there.
That would be
Love
awesome.
it. I've always wanted to go, so it seems like a blast.
It's going to be my first year going, so I'm excited, man.
Sick.
It's like actually really hard to get tickets to it. If you go to their website to sign up, they like ask you what your age is, what reason you're going for, how many people are in your party, and like they're clearly trying to weed out people like me.
Bro, it's fucking it's America. Anyone who wants to go see tennis, like they should just be like, oh my God, like they don't want to go to the NBA game or the MLB game or the NFL. They're coming to tennis. Come on in. There should be nothing, no questions asked whatsoever. That's crazy.
Yeah,
exactly. Vic, you want to let us know how?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, so Hubs, like Ben said, is from Barstool. As everyone, our 9 followers know, I was just in West Virginia to fight at Rough and Rowdy 24.
Hell yeah.
Lost the decision, unfortunately, to the rapper It's Caution. But hey, I got the post-fight interview to promote my book, Apaches in New York. So check it out. Let's see if I can get some double-digit sales this week, maybe, pay for some fucking Outback Steakhouse. Let's go. But yeah, that's how we connect. So yeah, Hubs, like Ben said, thanks for joining. You're definitely going to be like the big jump for us to get from that, low single digits to maybe double digits views.
Yeah, I can maybe get you to like 17 views. I think I got you there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
You're like a superstar to us. So, thanks for stopping by.
That's not a good thing.
Don't meet your heroes, kids.
All right, fellas, let's jump right into it. We at the time of recording this, the event itself has already started. We've had 4 or 5 decisions already, and we're currently in a rain delay in Paris. So we finally made it, though, to perhaps the most anticipated tournament of the year. Not only has the French Open historically been the event to turn the top of the tennis rankings on its head, but we're likely seeing its most prolific winner compete in it for the very last time. Rafael Nadal has won the tournament a record 14 times, a number that I wouldn't be surprised if it's ever surpassed. So it's been one of the most untouchable records in sports, and I imagine it'll stay that way for a long time. For comparison, Pete Sampras, one of the greatest players of his own era, won 14 Grand Slam titles total and never once won the French Open. Not a place for big servers like Pete. Obviously, we're already seeing not a good experience for Hubert Hurkacz so far. Dropped the first 2 sets, or first 2 out of 3 sets. 7 players ever have won both Roland Garros and Wimbledon, and we get to watch 2 of them compete once again this year. If you're not excited already, I don't know what to tell you. So I want to kick it around the room, though. what's the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to hearing about Rafael Nadal potentially competing in his last French Open this year? Hubs, I'll throw it over to you first.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, obviously. I'm happy he's getting like a farewell tournament. I know he hasn't said it's his last one. I think it's his last one. I think we all kind of, he just doesn't want to like officially say that. But yeah, we should be treating this like the last time we're seeing him here. And Fed didn't get that farewell. Fed didn't get the Wimbledon Swan Song tournament, which, as a Fed guy, that crushed me. Instead, he was just completely crippled at the very end of his career. It's good that Rafa has at least played some matches here to get going and try and push. But more or less, like, I'm uncertain. I don't know what he's gonna look like. So like he comes out, he's trying to do the clay swing. He struggles against Demon Hour, and then he comes back the next tournament and beats him. And it's like, whoa, okay, all right, that was good to see. I didn't know if he was just getting steamrolled twice by Demon, on clay would have been brutal. But then
we talked about that one a lot. Demon was hitting some softballs to him over there at the Madrid Open. You know what I mean? That was not the finest performance.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. But just like, I think physically, like, you just wonder how he can bounce back in these tournaments and these, especially, this best 3 out of 5. I know, usually best 3 out of 5 is great for guys like Rafa and Djokovic. Give them more time to figure the other opponent out and just, wane them out and then destroy them. But physically, I have no idea if he can last 3 to 5 sets, within a couple days, 2 out of 4 days, whatever. I have no idea. But this Zverev matchup, as we're going to get into, is fascinating in so many levels. I think I was pretty disheartened with how Rafa looked against Hurkacz. I thought he put up a way bigger fight in that one, and he just physically just wasn't there. So I don't know, man. I hope he gives us one really, really good match. That's really what I'm hoping for. I don't think we can ask for much more than that.
Same.
Yeah, definitely. I think you mentioned he's got Big Z in the first round. And I think actually, because he's not going to have to play, 2 days after playing a 5-setter,
Yes.
this is probably the best time for him to catch somebody like that. So I think it's going to be amazing on Monday. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, little foreshadowing here, but I picked Rafa to win the quarter. I guess that's not foreshadowing, it's a fucking spoiler, but but yeah, I definitely think he's gonna go through Big Z. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
It will help. I think it might be rainy tomorrow if I check the weather. And if they close the roof, that will help Rafa big time.
Very
Like
much.
that will slow shit down, and the crowd will be like 10 times louder. So Zverev's not happy about this. I don't know if you guys saw that ESPN article where like Misha told him, like, while they were warming up, his brother, like, yo, you got Rafa first round. He thought he was fucking with him. So like he's not like pleased about this. They asked Carlos, like, hey, it was 50-50. You were Zverev to play him. Like, what if it was you? He'd be like, I did not want that at all. No one wants this.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
But to what you just said, though, getting Rafa this early, it's Rafa getting Zverev this early is actually a good thing, as like crazy as that looks, where like you're getting the number 4 guy in the world, because he's going to be fresh and he's going to come out firing.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a soft part of the quarter too. I think whoever wins that one's going to walk into the 4th round. So looking forward to that one, definitely.
Chris, I saw you shaking your head a couple times there. What are your thoughts on Rafa?
Did you see the practice session and how people treated his practice session as
So
if
sick.
he was playing for the title, basically? Like,
Yeah.
I love that for the guy. Like, I couldn't imagine any better way to be sent off, because like, even if he flubs in the first round to Big Z, like, he already, like, those people are there for him. And like you said, if they close that roof, the crowd gets behind Rafa, like, there's another check mark that this might work out for him. Like you said, anybody over 30, 5 sets late in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, going to be gassed. So like, check mark getting that game first. But also we hit on in the last episode, no one wanted this. Big Z didn't want it. Tennis fans don't want it. Rafa fans don't want it. Rafa haters don't even want it. Like, they would have loved to have seen him lose to a lesser opponent for sure. So like, I don't know anybody that's happy about the draw, but it does make for some compelling tennis here right off the rip.
Yeah, love that. I'm in the same boat, Chris. And Hubs, this adds, not only is Rafa a competitor, closing the roof would make it such a more physical competition as well, keeping him in the game, but the mental aspect. I made money on a guy, I think it was in Madrid, because I'm just thinking nobody wants to beat Rafa right now. This is his last tournament in Spain, likely. Who's gonna like no guy with a good head on their shoulders wants to be the guy that eliminates him. And I was looking at Jiri Lehechka, who's unfortunately withdrawn from this tournament, but like he's just kind of got that stupid focus where he's like, I'm gonna tune out society and the thoughts of the people and just beat this dude because I want to say I beat Rafa, which hey, I respect that, and Jiri is playing great tennis as well. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts going into this.
The round before is when the guy asked for a shirt, right? Was that?
Yeah.
I think it
was it Kachin?
Cerundolo?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was
Kachin,
Kachin.
that's right.
Yeah.
Cat,
That's right. Yeah, hey,
He fucking blew it and they asked for a shirt.
he got some merch. Chris, keep an eye on the eBay listings in like a couple of years for that. He's probably gonna try and once he's done, he'll be cashing in. So yeah, we addressed it a little bit as well. Hubs did at least about Nadal potentially not retiring because he like really hasn't said explicitly that he's going to. I'm with you though. I think this is going to be his last tournament in France and Paris. It makes sense. And I think the goal here is not necessarily to win, but to have a strong showing. This is his swan song. It's okay if he doesn't win. The fans will love him regardless. So I think if he goes out there and he tries to like explode his body, like hips falling off of his torso just to try and win, maybe not the best strategy. Just like look respectable out there and we'll love you for the rest of our lives.
What's funny though is if he does beat Zverev, all the expectations go out the way. It's just like, oh, he's just gonna win the tournament again. All right,
Yep.
cool. So
And I wouldn't hate that either.
no, it'd be very cool. It'd be very, very cool.
So Vic, you talked about, is there anything else you want to address, like specifically Rafa's draw? You talked about how after that first round, it could be an easy walk to the quarters.
Yeah, so after the first round, whoever wins that one is going to have Goffin or Perricard, the young French kid, in the second round. So
I love that guy. That guy is awesome. I watched
him. Infectious dude, and I love that his family is so into it too. I was rooting for him for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think, if Nadal is able to beat Big Z, then he's going to beat either of those guys, right? No problem. And then it looks like he'd either have Darderi or Griekspoor in the third round. And Darderi, to me, would be the harder matchup for him, which is still, if you beat the number 4 in the world, you should beat Darderi. So,
dude, I love Darderi. He is one of my favorite players to watch. I started betting him during the South American clay court, right around the Super Bowl when he won that title. I don't know if he won Buenos Aires or the other one, but he won one of those. And he's sneaky. Like that guy, I don't know if he's got maybe like seeing Nadal in the third round where he's a little withered. That's not someone to overlook. Like he's going to destroy Rinky, and then he's going to get, like you said, either Griekspoor or McDonald. There's going to be a potential Luciano this is if Rafa beats Zverev. But I'm just saying that's a guy that I love when he's playing. Like he's a fun guy to root for. He blasts the ball.
Yeah, I love that too. Just hard hitting tennis.
Yeah.
Awesome. We've covered Lehechka already. I just wanted to make it clear who else has withdrawn from the tournament on the men's side. So Lehechka's still dealing with that back injury. We're not going to see Cilic. Also, he's having knee surgery, so we won't see him for a little while. Chris, we're not going to see one of your favorites, Facundo Diaz Acosta. He's withdrawn, as well as Berrettini, who is your year-long pick. He's withdrawn as well. And most recent withdrawal, who was supposed to face Casper Ruud this morning, is Jacob Mensik, the young player. I think he's still 18 years old, which is, I tweeted this out. It's really unfortunate that he's struggling so much with his fitness this year. We've seen him withdraw a couple times, just not ready to handle the workload of a full ATP season. And that's okay. He's got plenty of time. He's so talented. Would have loved to see him in the first round of the Slam playing a guy like Casper Ruud. But
that is a huge break for Casper Ruud to not have to play Mensik. Mensik can ball. Mensik can ball.
Yeah.
And so he got a qualifier instead. And he's just coming off that Geneva 250. He played 2 matches yesterday. So I was kind of worried, big shocker here, Hubs. I'm a huge Ruud fan. It's Ruud boy season on the clay. That's what I always say. I'm betting him to win this thing. So I was kind of worried about Mensik, like, oh shit, he might be tired in the first round. That'd be such a bad spot for him. But he got that qualifier instead out of Brazil, who frankly, I've never seen Alves play. So I can't even say anything about it.
Yeah.
But I assume it's a better draw for Ruud.
I like Casper a lot. I felt bad that he had to deal with that old Geneva disaster with the rain, but he handled it well. I mean, that first match was a little bit, up in the air. Second one, he kind of once he once he broke back, he kind of just ran from it. Casper's scary. And he's got the fitness. Like, I wouldn't even worry about him having to play those 2 matches in one day. It probably like helped him in some way, like, just to like get a better, because he basically played 5 sets, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The first one, 3. Yeah. So, I mean, it gets you a little battle tested for what's to come, I guess. So, yeah.
That's a great point, man. It's crazy. Like, we look at that as like an extra workload, and it's literally just the 5 sets everybody's going to be doing today.
Yeah, 100%. It's more just, I mean, you're playing that tournament, I guess. Maybe going off a little curious, but Casper loves to play those little tournaments to like just rack up his points. Although he's become way more of an all surface guy, I feel like lately. Maybe besides grass, but no, I think for Casper that you're playing that tournament to get like matches under you, fitness levels, all that, test it. So I feel like he came through that with flying colors, and he's gonna get on a nice run here. I agree. I think he goes very deep.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts, Hubs, on Joker doing something similar and it working out the opposite way? He wanted to get yeah, go ahead.
So I don't think he cared about that match. I hope that
I don't either.
the semifinal. He's not trying to get to he's not trying to play on a Saturday right before Slam. Like, I think I hate to give him the benefit of doubt. Like, he also looked like crap, and I mean, he kind of did like his opponent was just very, very good. But it's so, I have no idea what to think of Djokovic. I have no idea. I have no idea what, like, he's looked horrible. Like, and so many, I read all the tennis TV, Instagram comments on that. They were just like, this is it. It's finally time. How many times? I feel like we said that like 3 separate times in Djokovic's career, and then he just goes on there with like a 5 extra year prime. So I have no idea. This does kind of feel like it finally, but I've been wrong many times like that before. So I don't know, man. He's got a very easy draw. I think it helps him a lot. But I tend to believe he wanted to get the fuck out of Geneva in that 3rd match, and he didn't really care too much. So I'm not taking too much out of that. But like the whole month and a half of this has been bad. So
yeah,
absolutely.
So that 2nd set is what threw me for a loop, because it seemed like he really cared. He smashed him in the 2nd set. I was like, okay, here we go.
Right.
And then, like you said, I don't think that he cared to continue. So he just let it go and went home. But then he did that interview afterwards. And that's what really has me scared, is that for the first time ever that I can remember, he's saying that he's playing worse than ever.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't catch the interview. So he was just basically saying that?
Yeah, he basically said, I'm playing like crap. I don't know how to fix it. Like, this could be my last run. And I don't know if he's trolling us or if he's gonna come out hot.
Was low expectations, high hopes. That's what he has going in. So low expectations, high hopes.
He did just fire like half his team, right? So like that leads me to believe, something, his fitness guy, and there is something real here. Like, this isn't just him doing a ruse and he's gonna come out like prime Federer or whatever. Like, there's issues. There's issues happening here. So whether he can fix it or not with a few matches under his, if he gets rolling early and then he just gets locked in Novak and it just comes. I mean, it slams. He's at the point right now where, like, I don't care. He doesn't care what he does at these 1000s, these 250s, whatever. It's all about slams for him and the Olympics. And I think the Olympics holds value over everything because he's never won it. But he would love, I think, everyone's here for Rafa's swan song, and he just comes in and steals and, prevents Alcaraz from winning his first and all that. So, I'm not counting him out, but I don't know. I want
to. His odds skyrocketed all the way to plus 430 yesterday, so I doubled down on it. I wanted to get off the Joker train, and then they gave me plus 430. So
it's an easy draw. So you're gonna get to the 4th, 5th, a fourth of the quarters. So and then from there you got to win 3 matches. So it's not bad value. It's not bad value.
I think that's a good segue to our outright winner. So Chris, you're on Joker then to win at what you getting at plus 450?
Plus 430, baby.
Plus 430, nice. I mean, yeah, like you said, like, you're not going to find Joker at those odds very often. So yeah, let me run down the odds as of 525. Alcaraz was the favorite, plus 260. Joker was plus 300 as of that date, but the line's moved since then. Sinner plus 450. Big Z plus 700. TT Pass, who is back with Badosa, red alert. He plays like shit when he's with Badosa, and he's back with Badosa, upset alert. TT Pass is plus 800. My boy Casper Ruud plus 1,200. Nadal 2,200, and then Rublev 2,500, Medvedev 2,500, and then I think everybody after that is no shot. So, Ben or Hubs, you're the guest. Who do you have winning the French Open this year?
Richard Gasquet. I'm just kidding. No. Carlos is my boy. He's the odds-on favorite, so that's not a fun pick. But I mean, the way he looked very, very good today. Also, JJ Wolf is a train wreck right now.
Oh
so
my God, yeah.
There's really no way to.
He should have never shaved the mullet. I don't know what he was thinking shaving the mullet.
Pretty bad. His last few losses up until today were tragic. In like challenger events. Carlos's arm is really the factor here. And no one knows. And he's wearing this sleeve, and the way he was hitting the ball today, in a pretty good spot. But again, you don't know. I think the best value play is Zverev. If he can just get past Rafa, the way he's been playing and the way he plays on clay, and there's a chance a couple of years ago that he takes out Rafa at this tournament if he doesn't, tear every ligament in his ankle or foot, whatever it was. So he's playing great. I don't like the guy, but I think he is well equipped to win this tournament right now and it's going to help how wide open it is. So my value play would be Zverev, but my actual, if I put money on it, it would be Carlos, because I think it's time. At his peak right now, compared to everyone else's levels, he's better than everyone on the surface. So that would be my pick. I'm a sucker for Carlos.
Going chalk. All right, Ben, who do you like?
So 2 months ago, when Joker was down, he just looked like shit, and everyone was kind of down on Joker. I tweeted out, I said, this is the moment he kicks it into gear. I'm putting 2 units on him to win at plus 250. He has since had a couple more bad matches. He's currently at plus 300. He's back to plus 300 to win outright. I missed him going up to plus 430. I would have loved to grab that. That would have been my one and only bet if I could have gotten that, just to get that value. Because I agree, I don't love the value on Carlitos or on Joker.
Right.
I do like the value on Zverev. I totally agree with that, especially with his draw that he's got, the form he's been in. He looked great in Rome. I would like to see a little bit of his serve taken away by just the conditions in Paris, just to even the playing field in that quarter a little bit. But I tweeted out this morning or late last night for me that I'm putting a quarter unit on Alejandro Tabilo at plus 8,000. I love the way he's playing right now. Obviously, Joker's my pick, but if I'm going to go with value, I think the other guys I'm looking at plus 8,000, Grigor Dimitrov, Taylor Fritz, Holgerina at plus 5,000. I don't understand that, but why not? If I'm going to choose a guy that might come out of absolutely nowhere and win his first title, I think it's going to be a guy like Tabilo. So again, Joker's my guy, but I put a quarter unit on Tabilo just for a little root for the underdog.
All right, there you go. Don't put the mortgage on it.
No, please don't.
But if you do, you pay off the house. So fuck it, maybe, let it ride. And then, like I said, I'm on Ruud. My boy Casper Ruud. Ruud boy season, have to commit to the bit. I think he's going to get it done. Like you said, Ben, plus 8,000. Fritz is who Ruud would play in the fourth round, and then he gets Joker in the quarters. And I actually don't think that's that bad a draw. So I'm going to go with the guy who's in form and has won more matches than anybody else on the ATP Tour this season, Casper Ruud, plus 1,200.
I like it.
So yeah, those are our outright winners. Then we got our quarter winners next. So like I said, I'm on Ruud. He's in Q1. He's plus 275. I can't bet that since I'm already on him on the outright winner. So no Q1 bet for me. But I would pick Casper Ruud. If I had to pick a long shot, it'd be my boy Tommy Paul. As you all saw, plus hit that plus 1,400 with Tommy Paul to win the quarter in Rome. So let's see if he could repeat the magic. He's got Matthew McConaughey tweeting about him. But no, I'm on Ruud. But if I had to pick somebody else, I'd go for the long shot American, my boy TP.
Love that.
I do too. Yeah, it's hard to bet against Tommy Paul, especially in the form that he's in. I trust him mentally over a guy like Taylor Fritz. I think Fritz just gets down on himself too quick and collapses. And then Djokovic, wild card, we already discussed it. And Casper Ruud is hard to bet against him. But after him, Paul's the guy.
Tommy's my boy. I'm friends with him. Like, that's my dude. I worry about him versus Djokovic, like the mental side of it, because that's where Djokovic has it over everybody. And I think they would play third round, something like that, fourth round.
Yeah.
So that's tough. Now, the thing with Tommy is I think he has the best fitness on tour, maybe outside of Carlos. That guy can run you just all day. He will never get tired. He'll never get hurt, cramp, whatever. Just unless he fuck up his foot like a couple months ago, but he looked good in his return, in that return tournament. He's an interesting play. Taylor is too, though. Taylor's been serving like crazy on clay. Like, I don't know, like he's been money. It's a little slower though, here, so that doesn't exactly play for him. I like Casper. Casper would be my bet. I think when he would get Novak, he would be in a much better physical state than if Novak trends this way. So I like the 260 there with Casper. I think they're almost baiting you to take Novak, and I think it's the wrong play.
It feels that way. Chris, who you got in quarter one?
My boy.
You got a lot of boys. Which one?
I'm not riding anybody but Joker on the futures on the men's side.
Gotcha. Okay, you don't want to bet against him. I get that. I do want to get the thoughts real quick. I don't know if anyone saw this from Tsitsipas. I think a couple days ago in his press conference, they asked him who he thought had a great chance to win the whole thing, and he picked Davidovich Fokina. And everyone was like, "Fuck are you talking about? Why?"
Yo, ADF sucks. He needs to shave his head. Like, that top knot is the worst haircut I've ever seen.
It's brutal.
It's
Okay,
awful.
so
It's awful. You can't bet a guy with that haircut. It's just automatic no bet for me when I see that haircut.
I also just don't. If I were Fokina, I wouldn't want Tsitsipas backing me. Like, that's just like, I feel like everything he says is wrong. So I just don't want it. It's like that's the guy in my corner. Like, no, thank you. I don't want that.
yeah, he's love struck. Tsitsipas is picking ADF to win the French Open. Like, this guy's clearly out of sorts lately. And Davidovich Fokina has looked spotty at best throughout the clay season. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Fokina is the ultimate guy. Like, Novak would never want to see him randomly in like a 500 or whatever. Like, he could just turn up and go nuclear for a match, but he ain't stringing together 2 weeks of matches. Like, if he gets to the second weekend, I'll be stunned. Like, that's just that second week. Consistency is always going to be his issue. Like, he's very talented, can kind of do whatever he wants on the court, but can't consistently do it.
Totally agree. Other than that, the only matchup I would love to see happen again is Djokovic and Seybold Wild, if he can make it there. I think they'd play in the second round. That would be an awesome rematch from the Australian Open. Would love to see some revenge. I mean, I wouldn't love it for my bankroll's sake, but I think he's a fun player to watch, and to see Djokovic kind of handle that situation would be an interesting dynamic. So just another thing I'm watching for quarter one. But Vic, take us to quarter two.
Yeah, quarter two. This is one we've got Big Z plus 150, Medvedev, his arch nemesis, plus 400, Olga Rune plus 650, Nadal plus 900, JLS, the big German, plus 1100, Kachanov 12, Demon 16, and then Navone 18, and Dark Dairy, that Clay Rat you mentioned, Hubs, plus 2500. So yeah, those are the Q2. So it's Big Z than everybody else. I have Nadal winning that match against Big Z, so I'm gonna ride with him plus 900. We've all talked about his fitness. If he beats Big Z, like you said, expectations totally out the window. He might win this thing. So I'm going with him plus 900. Who do you like in Q2, Hubs?
I mean, I picked Zverev as a pretty good value bet. It's crazy. He could easily lose tomorrow, or he could win the whole. Like, he is the ultimate. I think that match has so much hanging on it, especially because it's an easy draw. Zverev is. I think my long shot here would be JLS. I just love how he plays. Like, he's just fun. Now he's predictable, right? It's all serve and volley for the most part. He's just a big guy, and this isn't going to play well for big guys necessarily. But when he's hot, and he's been hot lately, like a lot, deep runs, I feel like it's not a fun matchup. So plus 1,000, sprinkle it. I don't think Medvedev has it in him here. I definitely don't think Runa. He just gives me no confidence these days with his mental games, physical. Everything's just off with him.
Yeah, trying to keep that guy sane for 5 sets is
insane. And wear
Impossible
shorter
task.
shorts, dude. Like try to wear shorter shorts. I'd still go Zverev because I think, but it's either Zverev or Nadal. It's one of those two. I think Zverev will outlast him on Monday. I think it's going to be an absolute war. Rafa's going to win a few sets. It will go 5. But I think Zverev will prevail just physically, just being in way better position than Rafa is right now. Yeah, it's chalk, but give me the plus 135 there or whatever it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean it's chalk, but you know, you only get paid if you win, so you got to make the right bet, even if it's not a long shot. Ben, who do you like?
There's just after Zverev and Nadal, there's just like not a lot of confident picks in this quarter. Medvedev is a cockroach. Like he refuses to die, but he's not like a late game cockroach. Like he will just go crawl back into his hole at some point and not show up for the quarters or something like that. So not betting on him. I filled out a bracket and I do not by any means bet based on this bracket. And I picked Rune to win the quarter over Medi. But I don't have any confidence in him either. I'm hoping that he's taken the past few weeks off and his coach is like just drilled into him some confidence and some composure, some stoicism. But who fucking knows? And
I can't wait to watch his mom vaping.
If his mom's there,
yeah,
it's fucking over for
cigs.
him.
It's just ripping cigs.
I think Rune is going to lose to I don't know how Metahovic, whatever the hell you pronounce that guy's name. The guy
Metahovic. I love that kid. Serbian. He looks like a linebacker. That kid should be playing linebacker at Iowa or something.
He's
big,
nasty.
Huge.
Yeah,
really
not
good.
a fun matchup. I think he takes that Rune in the second.
I mean, I didn't list him, but he was plus 3,300. He was the next guy after on the futures. And if he does take out Rune, I mean, like, you know, then he'd get Kachanov probably in the 3rd round, which is another tough draw. So I'm not saying he's going to win the quarter, but he could definitely, you know, you could see him playing late. I love that big serve.
I also like qualifiers, talented qualifiers, who are just hot, playing good tennis coming in. Like he had to win 3 matches just to get here. So I like momentum like that.
I feel the same way. I chose a lot of qualifiers, especially Frenchmen, to get out of the first round. To sum it up though, Vic, I don't have an official play for Q2. If I were to put money on someone though, it would be Zverev at plus 150.
Okay, got you. Chris, do you have a future on this quarter?
Quarter unit on the Serbian linebacker. He's made me a lot of money. I bet against him like 2 months ago. He lost me money that day. And ever since, I've been riding that horse. I'm plus 12 units on him, and I'm going to put another quarter unit at plus 3,300. So that's my play for the quarter. I do think it comes down to Big Z and whether or not he makes it past Rafa. And then if he gets that nice cruising through the 2nd and 3rd round, I think he definitely is poised to take the quarter. I think Holger Rune has the ceiling to beat any of these guys, but as we discussed, doesn't have the consistency.
All right. I like that. Nice long shot. All right, 3rd quarter.
Wait, Vic.
Yeah.
Are we not gonna address your boy? You got to address Bublik, right? What's going on with him?
What do you mean what's going on? Plus 6,600. I just can't back it. I mean, I think he's going to lose to JLS in the 2nd round.
The number 1 Bublik fan in the world is right here on this podcast.
He's great. I think he gives the best press conferences by far in the whole sport.
He loves the fans. I think he genuinely loves the fans, and that leads him to give awesome interviews.
He legit just like one time he sat down with Prakash in Monte Carlo after like a win, and he was like shocked he won on clay. And he's like, I just hate this surface so much, but like, it's whatever. I just keep playing. And if I lose, I'll just go on the next tournament. Like, he's just such a positive mindset all the time. And was that yesterday where he had 6 underhand serves?
Yeah, yesterday. He had 6 underhand serves in line.
What a nut job, man. Yeah. My God.
You want to see a guy ready to get out of town. That's Bublik right there. You know what I mean? That's why I can't pick Bublik to win the quarter, because like, some days he shows up, he's just like, fuck it, man. I don't really feel like doing this today, But I think he's awesome. I love
He has a
Bublik.
really good quote about like, if I'm not going to win a match, I better entertain the fans because they paid to go watch. It's like, that's just such a good way to go about it.
Absolutely.
That's when he put the ball girl. He gave the ball girl the racket and let her serve against Coric.
Coric was pissed.
Yeah, Coric was pissed.
I was once walking like one of the early days of the US Open where like every court is playing, and he was on like, let's say court 12, one of them you can walk right up to. And I was like 3 sets of people back, and he was in fucking mode, but he was winning and getting cocky. And he went up to some guy he was going back and forth, and he goes, "I bet you a beer I ace this guy." Obviously right into the net, first serve, second serve, goes for it, long, buys a guy a beer. What a legend.
I love it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Usually we get a bet out of Vic on Bublik to do something crazy. I'm sure we'll see one in the match betting, but not the futures this time, huh, Vic?
No future for me. I'm gonna bet him in the first round. I think he's like minus 110 or plus money. It's right there. And I don't think he's gonna beat JLS, but depending on the line, I'll bet on him. I'm always ride or die with Kazakhstan. I'm waiting for my invitation from the Ministry of the Interior to come out, like, it's Kazakhstan, Rybakina, Shevchenko, Bublik. If I see that flag, I'm betting it. If I see a Kazakhstani flag, it's an auto bet. So
I'm on Kukushkin today.
It's a beautiful
there
flag.
you go.
Plus
All
6
right,
games.
so the third quarter, we got Alcaraz minus 138, the favorite. Next is TT Pass plus 2200 or plus 220. Rublev plus 600, and then you've got a big drop to Ben Shelton plus 2000, and nobody worth mentioning after that. FAA plus 2200. He ain't fucking winning the quarter.
Whoa, okay.
So
we'll get there.
Yeah. So Hubs, I think you want to go first on this one. Who do you got winning the third quarter?
So if Tsitsipas had not gone back with Badoza, I would have maybe actually leaned him. But as you guys said, they're back together, and that's going to be a catastrophe. But I think he can challenge Carlos. He was playing very good tennis. He beat JLS. What was it, less than a month ago? Like deep in a tournament. I forget if I think he ended up winning that. But he's playing good tennis. Felix is annoying. I can't stand him because he's a choke artist in the biggest way possible, and I can't trust him in a slam. But like. He's played a lot better. Like it's like he's playing his best tennis in 3 years because he was hurt, and then confidence levels, whatever. This is Korda also lurking. I'm a Korda guy. Man, I wish he could work on his serve better in his mental games. Doesn't seem to want to do that yet, but his defense and the way he moves, clay is a good spot for him. He lurks as a third round matchup for Carlos. Don't love that. It's just tricky. I don't think Draper, if he pulls this comeback out against De Jong, who I had today to win a set, that was nice.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm sure he's going to blow this, though. I'm glad I didn't have the money line, but I don't think any of those guys challenge Carlos. I do think Korda does. I don't think Ben does. Ben's played well on clay. I think he's got an early exit written all over him here. I don't know. What is he against Hugo? Yeah. Like, I think Hugo is a very tricky first round matchup for Ben.
Same.
A guy you can put a lot of balls back, make you hit a ton of shots. Ben is going to try and play YOLO ball and just blast through you. Hugo's just not the guy to do that, especially on a slow surface. He's going to get to a ton of balls and make you work. Now, Ben could also break him too because he has no serve. But Ben is a sexy name. I would stay far away from him here. So almost by default, I'm going Carlos, and I did pick Carlos to win the whole thing. And maybe all my quarters picks are chalk. But I'm just seeing how the draws go here. And yeah, at the moment, I'm going Carlos. You can almost, if you really want to, if my quarters look so chalky to you, I'm loving the JLS thing more and more. I think about it for that other quarter we're talking about. So if you want to switch that, switch it. But I'm going Carlos here because that's my boy. We gotta get a deep run out of Carlos.
Yeah.
All right, nice. I don't hate it. Like you said, he looked good today. Wasn't grabbing the arm at all against JJ Wolf, who he dismantled. So yeah, Carlos is looking good to start the French. Chris, who do you like?
Carlos is here to win. There's no chance he doesn't at least win the quarter. I'm going Carlos.
All right, Ben, are you gonna make it 3 for 3 on Carlos Alcaraz?
I know you just brushed it off real quick, but he does have that lingering injury that I didn't like at first. I would look stupid because I said it's probably nothing. It's probably just he's wearing a sleeve now. Like a lot of guys just end up wearing sleeves at some point. But then he withdrew from, I think it was Madrid, and I looked stupid. So I'm not ready to shrug off that injury just yet. I think the bottom half of this quarter is going to beat the shit out of each other. We're going to get Alcaraz, Korda, FAA, who I'm not sleeping on as well. I think him against Purcell could even be an awesome matchup. I love Purcell in early rounds. I've made a lot of money on him this year doing that, but not a deep guy. But by the time Rublev gets to the winner of that quagmire, I think I've got Rublev FAA on my bracket, but I think it'll be Rublev and Alcaraz. I think Rublev can take it. I've got Rublev to win the third quarter at plus 700.
Yeah,
He's
plus 600
my pick.
It says on
Plus
the
600.
sheet we
Sorry,
got.
yeah. Decimals at 7. Okay, cool. Rublev's my pick. I like him here. I like him as apparently he's just the nicest guy. I would love to meet him. I want him because his on-court antics can be a little much, even though I do love a hothead. I think
Dude,
he's
he
got
made
the
me a lot of
tools.
money when he defaulted against Bublik in Dubai. Like I had a shit ton of money on Bublik that match. So I'm glad he has an on-court antics.
That's
Yeah,
a
Rublev
good
plus
point.
600. He was the third guy after Tsitsipas and Alcaraz. So yeah, that's not a bad pick, Ben. Not a bad pick. I think he won in Madrid, right? He won in Madrid. He won the Madrid Open while he was sick.
He dropped the opening set to FAA, which is why I'm not sleeping on FAA.
Dude,
but then
you guys
he got all in his
crazy.
head and he
FAA
fucking
is
collapsed.
a bum. FAA is an absolute bum. He's a Canadian, no account. Listen, all right. He walked into that Madrid Open. He beat Rude in the third round, and then he had 2 walkovers in the quarters and the semis. So he beat Rude in the third round when Rude wasn't playing good, and then he walked into the fucking final, right? Like that doesn't mean shit to me. I don't think FAA is in good form at all. I hate FAA. If you haven't picked that up, Hubs.
Yeah, I'm with you though. I'm with you, man. I think he's a total choke job.
Yeah. So for me, I think I got chalk Alcaraz minus 138. I think he's going to win this quarter. No problem.
It is worth noting Rublev does have kind of a cakewalk to like the fourth round.
Yeah.
There's really not going to be much trouble with him here. Like, I don't know. Arthur Fees, maybe in a couple of years. It doesn't seem like he's there yet. He's still a little young, super talented, but those guys, he's not getting challenged by a Sonego or whatever. So he's going to be there, for a Carlos or whoever is there down there. So value-wise, you're going to probably get to within a win of winning that bet if you take Rublev. So he certainly has the game to like kind of win that. He kind of stops there as potential. Like he's not a semifinal guy, it doesn't seem like, but I don't hate it. I still will go Carlos though.
Yeah. It's really hard to bet against Carlitos. Injury aside or non-injury aside, it's just he's so good. I think he wants his first one. So
it's just such a bad time when you're against him. It's just a bad.
Really
you're just having a bad time. Like when he's just firing, he's like, "What the fuck, man?
Yeah, why did I bet against this guy?"
you can trick yourself for like a few minutes early on, and like today did JG broke him the first game, right?
Yeah, JG broke him in the first game.
First game, it's like, interesting. And then he won it 6-1. It just blitzes you once he just settles his feet down. Just a bad time, man. You might as well just ride him, and you're gonna have fun. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna smile, and you'll probably win some money.
The players are the same thing. I think it was in Miami. It was Gael Monfils was mic'd up or something, or they had him talking to his trainer in between points, and he goes over to his trainer. And he's like, "This guy fucking gets everything," and they're like laughing about it. Like, how do I get a point past this guy?
Yeah, it's insane.
All right, one more quarter.
Fourth quarter. We've got the other young gun, Yannick Sinner, minus 110. Hurkacz, who I think has won that by now, is plus 700.
Yep.
Dimitrov is plus 1,000. Tabio, Ben's pick to win the whole thing, plus 1,200 to win the quarter.
Secondary.
Okay, secondary. Baez, plus 1,200. Jari, who just made the final in Rome, plus 1,400. My boy, the young Hungarian Marozsan 1800, and then Tiafoe 1800 and Nori 2000. Tiafoe plus 1800 is like, yo, he's played like shit lately. That's really
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking
Yeah.
there.
I'll take
It's
everybody's
crazy
action on that.
So yeah, Ben, who do you like in the fourth quarter? Who's your pick in the fourth quarter?
So this is definitely, I think, a more competitive one. Obviously, I did put another quarter unit on Tabilo here to win the quarter. Obviously, much shorter odds, so plus 1,200 here. So that gives me half a unit total on him, future wise. I think he can cruise through a lot of these guys. I don't see Grigor Dimitrov as a big threat. Like, he's just not in form lately. And he can absolutely beat a guy like Hurkacz if he meets him in the third or fourth round. So that leaves the bottom of the bracket, who again looks like they're going to beat each other up. Sinner's got to go through a lot of fucking clay ballers like Baez, maybe Navone, Nico Jari. I did put half a unit on Jari, most aces in the tournament. I really like the way he was serving in Rome, so I thought that was kind of a fun prop. But
there's an interesting like rivalry thing with him and Moutet. I don't know if you guys were seeing that. It's like something with they had a match in South America.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
it
so
was
like
in
there's
Chile.
It's bad boy French tennis. Love it,
Yeah, there might be like a war zone in that match.
He tried to lecture the crowd. He beat him in the end, and it was a slugfest. And his post-match interview was like, "We come out here, we try really hard. I think you should respect us more." And the fans were like, "Fuck you." So Moutet is just like, he does not pick his spots well. So I do love that rivalry, though. I'm hoping it's a slugfest when they play.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tabilo's my pick here, but I can really see it. I kind of like the Baez pick as well, but Sinner's the obvious guy. I think Sinner can compete. I want to see him play. It feels like it's been a while since we actually seen him compete at a high level against high level competition, I should say.
Do we have the odds on this quarter? Do you know what they are?
So Sinner is minus 110. Herc is 700. Dimitrov is 1,000. Tabio 1,200. Baez 1,200. Jari 1,400.
Got it. My pick will be Grigor. I think this was a tricky one to get through today for him. For what I thought, for whatever reason, Kova was going to give him some trouble. He breezed by. I like Grigor. I'm not. It's more just I don't really trust where Sinner's hip is at, and he's telling everyone he's fine and he's going to get through it, but I don't really buy it. Like, there's some concern there, and I guess they wouldn't be playing the tournament. Like, a hip is a dangerous thing. You wouldn't be playing if you were at risk, but I can't trust that right now. I don't think, a Eubanks or, the winner of this Gasquet Chorich match troubles him too much, but maybe a Cam Norrie, although I can't fucking stand him.
Same.
Just has no talent. He just hits the ball back and does nothing for you. He's just like, if you have unforced errors, then Norrie can beat you. Other than that, he's not going to power through you. I can't stand betting him, and I get tricked all the time because he's kind of cool. He seems like a very nice guy. I'm terrified about that Jerry Moutet match to take Jerry to go far. Seb Baez infuriates me. He's a clay court merchant, but he's very good on clay. Nevertheless, your Tabio pick. I think Zizou Bergs, based off that line, is going to give him some trouble. Like, okay. I thought Tabio would be minus 700 in that. Only 270 leads me to believe that they believe Bergs can catch fire for a little bit. And, he's a fun player. He's not really good, but he's fun. Can't trust Chapo at all. I think I ruined his career just by liking him early on. And man, he's the most frustrating guy in the world. But yeah, Grigor is just rock solid. That's kind of what it comes down to for me. I know what I'm going to get out of him. He has proven, I think, pretty consistently that he gets deep into these kinds of tournaments and just has an all-court game. And there's not as many red flags with him as other people is kind of what I'm putting at. So give me Grigor with the 1,000 odds. I like that.
Okay, nice. Chris, who do you got in Q4?
I am laying off Q4. I don't trust Yannick. I think it's criminal that nobody mentioned Sinner for this entire podcast until we got to Q4. Everybody's kind of written him off. So I'm actually rooting for the guy. But I don't trust the hip injury. Very easy to re-aggravate, especially over 5 sets over a 2-week tournament. Like, just going the whole way with that is very suspect to me. I like Nico Jerry, but also the courts might be playing slower. And he's a huge serve guy. I love the most aces bet for sure, but I'm laying off of everybody in Q4. I don't see anybody here that I want to take.
Okay, I think it's going to be Sinner. I expect Sinner to win the quarter, but if I was betting on it, if I had to make a bet, which I did not, I would bet Baez plus 1,200. Like you said, clay court merchant. The dude can ball on clay. I mean, that's the only place he can ball, but he can ball on clay. He looked pretty good against Casper Ruud last week in Geneva. He was fucking great on the clay court swing in South America. So I'm going to go with Baez to win. If I had to make a bet, Baez, but I expect it to be Sinner versus Alcaraz in the semis there.
Yeah, by logic speaking, the place to take the clay court merchant would be on clay. So it's not. It's more just why I don't like him. But like, there's value to him here. Like this is a guy built for this type of tournament for sure.
100%. So those are the quarter picks, and then like Ben said, we're recording this on Sunday morning, so round one's already kicked off. But does anybody have anything on Monday that they're looking to bet? Like any round one matchups that you absolutely love and you need to bet?
Let's see.
You really got me thinking about Bergs. I know. So I'm thinking back to Bergs giving Djokovic a hard time. What was that, like a month ago?
Yeah.
Just too hard of a time. I'm watching that one. I might take an over bet on that, but I still like Tabilo to advance there. But I'm thinking it might be more of a slugfest than I thought it would be originally.
I just thought it would be a bigger number, and that kind of concerns me that it's so low. Like that. Yeah. That's how my mind works with these tennis bets. Yeah. Like I know the rankings, all that. I've seen them play, and I just sniff out like, that's a little strange. There's Tabia's the better player, but just maybe that is a lot harder of a match for him to get through than we initially think. That's kind of more what I'm saying.
That's a good spot.
Darderi, I will take him tomorrow probably to win in straights. I don't know what that number is going off at the moment, but I just think he's way better than Rinky. You probably get a slight plus on it. No, minus 126, but I like that. Let's see. I like Hugo to win a set, maybe even sprinkle like a half unit on the match, but I don't know what him to win a set at the moment is, but it's probably like a little bit of a minus. But I like that. Tsitsipas won't get. Oh, you know who I hate the most? Arnaldi. He bothers me so much.
I don't like him either. I don't like him either.
I don't like his face. I don't like his demeanor. And his like ranking is just, he doesn't play to his ranking, if that makes any sense. Like he just should be better, I feel like, than every time I watch him play. I'm just not an Arnaldi guy whatsoever. I hope Fields beats him and he'll have the crowd. It's a good number for Arnaldi, I'll say that. The plus 129. I do like that for him.
Yeah, I think that's a good line. I mean, he beat him when they played head to head earlier this year. I think in like Indian Wells or Miami, he smoked him. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm an Arnaldi guy. You got to stick with the pizza makers. We got to stick together. So, I like that one tomorrow. But like you said, that's a tough one with fees.
I had Bellucci in the final qualifier to beat Mauro Canas, and he's got Tiafoe, and I don't trust Tiafoe whatsoever. I think the plus 350 with Bellucci is kind of interesting. Francis is basically at this point in his career, I think he's just all in on the US Open and doesn't really even care for any other tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. A lot of action tomorrow. That's always fun. I love the first round of the Grand Slams. It's like March Madness times 2,
Yes.
A lot of opportunities to make some money. Ben, anything you really like on day one or, round one?
Yeah, so I've still got Kukushkin plus 6 games against Marjan moving forward. I just don't like the way Marjan's been playing on clay so far this year. I'm gonna I mentioned him before, but Max Purcell has been making me money on hardcourt on clay in the first couple rounds of tournaments. He's just like undervalued over and over. He's playing Henry Squire, who's probably a better clay court player, but come on, Max Purcell is just he's a dog, and I love he gets pissed too, and he never plays on like the main court, so he doesn't get commentators. You just get the court noise, and he was like, "What the fuck am I? What's going on here? I'm getting fucked." He's no problem talking to his coaches like that, and even the umpire sometimes. So I'm a big Max Purcell fan. I'm also a Cam Norrie hater for everything that you said, Hubs. He's just like He's also because he's fucked me on bets multiple times. Pavel Kodov plus 190, probably the right odds there. Like, doesn't look weird to me, but plus 4.5 games looks pretty appealing. I see Kodov taking at least one set, probably two off Norrie. There's probably a 5-setter here. So
I like him to win. I like Kodov.
Me too.
That's a good number for him. It's not like juicy, but I think that shows no respect to Cam, and I like that.
Which he doesn't deserve. So
yeah,
that's what I've got. That's what I've got my eyes on moving forward. And yeah, I really am looking for Purcell to make me some money. So, Chris, anything for you?
I got Mahak beating Nuno Borges at minus 152, and I've got Shevchenko beating Karatsev at minus 170. Both of those are tomorrow morning. The only bet I have remaining for today is Offner. I'm back in Sebastian Offner here at minus 166.
Okay, it should be a good match.
Yeah.
Offner and Amane. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, he's maxable. For me, I got my boy Bublik. Always got to bet on Bublik in the first and second round. So Bublik minus 130. I'm taking him. I don't even know who this Frenchman is that he's playing. It doesn't matter. He's Bublik. He'll win. And then for the Aussie on Aussie matchup, Poprin's plus 100 right now against Kokkinakis, which is fucking crazy to me. Like, Poprin should definitely be the favorite there. I think Poprin's going to smoke him. Poprin also has a title on clay. He won a 500 last year in Croatia. He beat Wawrinka in the final. So I don't know why he's the dog to Kokkinakis. So I'm going Poprin plus 100. You guys expressed a lot of hate for Norrie, and I think you can say the same thing times 1,000 for Botic Van de Landesloop. That motherfucker.
Oh, man.
All he does is he's just like a return machine. He just hits it back. He hits no winners. He hits 0 winners. And he's playing a guy that all he does is try to hit winners. Fabio Fognini plus 185. Give me the Italian on clay. Fabio plus 185. I think that's a great number against a guy who's not going to try to beat him. Who's pretty much there to not lose. So that's what I've got for tomorrow. So 2 dogs and Bublik.
Interesting. I mean, the hotheads. Fognini's the hothead in Italy, and 5 sets. It's a lot of opportunity for him to fuck up and start getting pissed at himself, start hitting things. So I'd be a little worried about that, even though I agree with your analysis play style wise for Van de Zandschulp. Yeah.
Fuck that name. Fuck that name.
We call that guy, me and my buddies call him the 4-name man. We just call him the 4-name man.
The 4-name man. That's good.
Yeah. He is that match, the like matchup style though for that might play perfectly into the 4-name man's hands, because Fognini is just going to try and hit winner after winner there and have no patience whatsoever. And that might fuck him big time. I'm just seeing this match too. Monfils against Sihut Wild is going to be incredible
Awesome.
Because the French crowd and Wild can put on a show with his forehand. I love the over in that. I don't see there's any way that's a straightforward match. That is going to be 5 sets.
I love that. Yeah, I didn't even think about the over in that one. I did pick the Brazilian to move on from there, even though I would like to see more Monfils. You're getting older.
Yeah.
Probably wants to make a deep run in this tournament, but I love this matchup. Yeah, I totally agree there.
Who would you say tomorrow is on the biggest upset alert? Because I'm staring at one guy.
Ooh, okay. Let me get just tomorrow's matchups sorted
What?
out.
How long of odds are you talking?
Let's say 200 and up.
Okay. Hold on. I got a
Rusevori. He's the first.
You
name
don't
I
like
saw.
the filthy Finn?
No, I don't like him at all.
either.
But he's playing Sun Woo Kwon, so no. I just don't like Rusevori. If there's anybody else, plus
I think Medvedev is in a lot of trouble.
Ooh, okay.
I think Koepfer is good on clay. And I think that is not a good number for Medvedev. And I think Koepfer can definitely pull off the upset tomorrow.
Okay, minus 450. Yeah, definitely. Koepfer is plus 360 right now on DraftKings. That'd be a big hit. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Just to keep an eye out. Just to keep if that looks awry to start, just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I liked Koepfer in the smaller, like the 250s on hardcore in America. He did great in a lot of those, so we made money on him. He's had a great play season, like you said. So Medi, who knows what Medi shows up? He's kind of like Bublik, only the opposite. He doesn't love everybody.
Right.
He hates everybody.
Right.
But he's also Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So
I'm convinced that if tennis was a big American sport, and Medvedev was, let's say, American, he'd be one of the more popular players in the entire, like, he'd be a household name with the way his interview, his authenticity in interviews on the court, what he plays to a crowd, what he plays against the crowd, his style. Like, it's a shame that he isn't as popular as he is. Obviously, in the world, people know him, but in America, he's not as. And I wish he was, because he's one of the more interesting, fascinating players there are.
I love
Absolutely.
Medvedev. I bet him to win the Australian Open, but they dogged him in breakpoint, man, when they were falling around Zverev. Oh, man, they made him look like such an asshole. And it's funny, too, because when you watch it, Zverev is the asshole, and Medvedev is the funny guy. Like, Medvedev should have been the star of that episode.
It's like the producers had no idea Zverev's a bad guy. They had no clue.
Right. Yeah. Medvedev doesn't have a pending court case that starts in like 5 days.
Yeah.
So, one more matchup I wanted to pull you guys on just to get your thoughts. We haven't addressed it yet. Is first round we're getting Stan the Man Wawrinka versus Andy Murray, two legends. What are we thinking? I think to me the odds look right. Stan probably takes this one, but any shot we see Murray move on and kind of get his shit together after a really shitty 2024 for him so far?
I will 100% lose money on this in a few hours. No question. I don't even know who I'm taking, but I'm just going to lose money on this match. This is pretty much a 50. You don't know what physical shape either of these guys are in.
Right.
Stan is the better clay court guy, obviously, but what has Stan even been doing in these last few? He's lost to Pedro Martinez in a challenger, right?
In like Morocco and Marrakech, I think he lost to him in the first round.
Now I'm looking back here. Stan has lost 5 of his last 6 matches.
Is that good?
It's a race to the bottom, this matchup. Two legends racing to the bottom.
Listen, I'm going heavy on the prop bet that somebody breaks a hip.
Dude, who's taking action on that? What kind of shady local bookie you got?
Yeah, and then Murray he lost to Barea at the same challenger that Stan lost. These guys, I will bet it because it's going to be on at like 3 p.m. But yeah,
you got two of the guys that are over 35 facing each other in the first round. I think this is the best matchup either one of them could have hoped for.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Vic, you got anyone in this one? You taking Stan or Andy?
I'd go with Stan the Man, just because he's got the filthy backhand. But I don't, like you guys said, I don't expect it to be like high level shit. You know what I mean? This is just like, if Conor McGregor boxed Floyd Mayweather at 50 instead of 30, a rematch. They'll probably do it because they'll both need the money. In 20 years, like that's what we're about to see. Because they played the final against each other. What, shit, it feels like a decade ago.
Dude, they played 23 matches against each other.
What's the head-to-head look like?
13-10, Andy.
20,
but Wawrinka's 5-1 on clay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like Stan here. And then going back to the upset, I got Yannick Hanfin upsetting Cerundolo first round.
Oh, like that.
He's plus 225.
I like that a lot.
I kind of like that too.
Yannick is a good clay court guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't trust Cerundolo's level. He's very shaky for me. He should be way more. He's like a top 30 guy, and he should be way more consistent. He's just not. I like that bet.
Totally agree. Yeah, he's one of those guys that just didn't show up. He played the Golden Swing on clay, and he just didn't show up to any of those tournaments and just got blown out early rounds. So inconsistency could definitely be.
My boy Luciano got him down there.
That's true. Yeah, hell yeah. You're really building me up on Darderi here. Okay,
I'm telling you, man, he's just electric to watch. I like him. Plays to a crowd.
All right. Any final notes, fellas, before we wrap it up here?
No, I think that's it for me.
Cool. Hubs, you want to let the viewers know where they can find you and what kind of content you put out there if they're interested in?
Yeah, listen, I talk a ton of tennis. I know a lot. If you go to my Twitter, it's gonna be a lot of Yankees, unfortunately for you. So, but tennis gets sprinkled in there. I am always watching. I pay the $150 Tennis Channel Plus thing to watch every single match, especially because the French Open's a disaster with the way they televise everything. But yeah, I love tennis. If you ever DM me, whatever, I'll get in a conversation with you about it. I love talking tennis. It is one of the more underappreciated things we have in sports. And it's a really fun thing to gamble on, especially live gambling. It's just a blast, the odds swings and all that. So you can find me at Barstool Hubs on Twitter, Eric_Hubs on Instagram. I'm on TikTok somewhere too. I have like 300 followers, so you don't need to follow me there. But this was a blast, guys. I love talking tennis. You guys know your shit too. I did not know going in what this is going to be like, but I genuinely had a blast and hope you have me back soon.
Yeah. Again, thanks so much for joining us. For our viewers, again, make sure you're following us on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at Faulty Picks. You can find the podcast on Spotify as well. And make sure you're following the individual
we're on
accounts.
Spotify now.
We're on Spotify.
Fucking A, coming up in the world.
That's the Hubs boost. I got you on Spotify.
Yeah.
They reached out to us. Thank you, Hubs. All right. Thank you again for joining us for episode 18. You can catch us again, episode 19. We'll do a midway check-in for the French Open and maybe update some futures bets. And again, go kind of matchup by matchup with our favorite picks. So thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.
Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for